Hello guys, welcome back, and it's great to be back with you. And here we've got another very exciting interview with again another very passionate entrepreneur from BBC's Apprentice. It's with great delight that I'm going to introduce you to Sajan Shah.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you, and thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate, obviously, with the series, you're full on at the moment, so I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about what you do outside of the TV program?
So a third TV program don't do much. No, I am an entrepreneur. I have a few businesses. I actually graduated from university in 2014 and then climbed my way up to the top of becoming a head of HR, where I really found a passion for people and understanding how people interact with each other and more about getting people into workplaces. So I decided to create a talent agency that supports millennials or graduates and getting them into the workplace in today's market, which is more and more going towards the sort of startup field. So we basically specialize in getting millennials and graduates to work with the best startups across the UK at the moment. Alongside that, I have another venture as well, which is a photo booth business, which means I go out to lots of social events and corporate events and just make sure people have a great time. But my main business at the moment, and the most passionate business idea I have till date, is to help people that need the opportunity to get into jobs, but really support them throughout that whole cycle as well.
Wow. What I mean, I completely can feel that. What I'm going to say, what diversity in what you do. You know, you're doing something really fantastic in terms of helping people, but then at the same time, you're out there at events making sure people have a good time. I mean, it's all about helping people, from what I can gather.
100%. I think whatever way you can, it's always great to help people, whether it's making them smile on the photo booth side or on this side where I'm recruiting and actually really helping people get jobs that they value, giving them the opportunity that they deserve, and actually mentoring people or sort of advising them on how to get the best jobs in today's very competitive market, actually.
Absolutely. So tell us what mentoring means to you then.
Mentoring is such an important or fundamental process for anyone when they're growing up. Personally, for me, I grew up in Kenya, had a very difficult time when I was growing up in Kenya. I was actually kidnapped at a young age. And when I moved to London, I found it very difficult to settle here. I felt that I just needed someone to support me. It was actually when I met my drama tutor who got me into drama school, mentored me on how to be confident, how to fit in socially, but also just got the best out of me. And that was the moment when I actually realized that there's people out there that help you. But that moment when someone actually supported me and actually advised me on what to do and how to do things actually showed to me the importance of mentoring, because if it wasn't for mentoring, I'd probably not have any idea of where to go, what I'm doing. And I just needed someone to set me an example. And for me, that's why mentoring is so important, because especially at a young, early age, if you get the right types of mentoring, you really are in a strong position to always motivate yourself, really engage with others, but also at the same time, mentoring is the most important part of anyone's career or life-changing process, because you need to learn and expand yourself as well.
Absolutely. And my goodness me, it sounds like that you've really used that mentoring to overcome some very personal trauma there.
Definitely. I mean, for me personally, the mentoring experience, or I've always been mentored. Now, mentoring comes in different forms. It's not just your having a teacher or or someone in a university saying to you, this is the right way to do it, this is the right way to do something else. I think mentoring comes in various forms. It could be from people you sort of just imitate or see in a certain position. So for example, in the workplace, I always looked at my HR manager and felt, one day I want to be that person. So you look at what they do, how they do it, and you really copy their traits. And actually that is still in effect a way of mentoring, because they're setting up an example. But there's also forms of, taking advice from people, allowing them to tell you this is the best direction to go. But I think mentoring sort of forms the most important part of anyone's process, which is feedback. And mentoring gives you both the most important feedback, I personally think, in today's day and age, is that positive feedback where people can point out your errors, but also mean that you have the best opportunity to really take those, take the feedback in and get the best out of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've already touched on it slightly, but do you want to tell us about some particular mentors who have influenced your life?
So one of the biggest mentors I ever had was my drama teacher. When I came to London, I mean, my English was quite a bit of a struggle. I felt I was bullied in school, and I just didn't feel that when I had someone there to support me, especially in that school environment, I just lacked that confidence. So one of the perfect examples, my drama teacher sort of taking me under her wings and sort of showing me how to do drama, think outside the box, become confident, speak well, write well. And those are the things that made me very confident. That meant when I'm speaking to people or engaging with people, I actually felt much more confident about myself. I knew what I was saying. And actually with drama as well, you meet lots of people that sort of open-minded, creatively led as well. So you get on with people. I mean, the other types of mentors that I've had that have been absolutely brilliant to me at university. I think going to university was a very, very difficult decision for me to make because I wasn't too sure whether I wanted to go work or go straight to university. When I got to university, that leap from sixth form to university is tough as well. But having that mentor at university where they tell you what is the best sort of routes to take, and especially at my university at Brunel, it was an entrepreneurship hub as well. So I actually had access to mentors that had been in the world of business. So that meant I was learning from them, and they were exposing me to exactly what I needed to learn in order to become a successful businessman. I mean, from the moment I spoke to them and understood how they focus on business, I realized when I finished university, I want to go do exactly what they did. And I actually followed their footsteps. They said, go out there, get your commercial experience, and then go build an empire. And that's what I've done till today. And I felt it's made me a better person. And also, I think I became a head of HR at the age of 22, which was very, very difficult. But at the same time, it meant I was much younger than people in higher positions. Or at the same time, I was, managing people that were much more older than me. So reverse mentoring was quite important here, where actually someone with more experience in a firm might come over to me being in this HR position and actually say, do you know what, this firm has been going on for this long, we've struggled in this areas, maybe you now being the head of HR, you can change that. So mentoring comes in different forms. As I said, I've had mentoring throughout my life. I'm very open to people giving me feedback because for me it's so important. And now I'm doing the same thing to people, giving them advice on how to get jobs, mentoring them on how to get jobs, and how to really fulfill your sort of engagement when you're in a job as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, and it's so true. And it's interesting you bring up the concept of reverse mentoring because it's something that in our courses we're coming across again and again. And we're actually, we've developed a version of one of our courses to train reverse mentors. So train young or new or inexperienced employees how to mentor more senior ones to give them more ideas. And it's really so relevant that you actually, that you've actually mentioned that because we're seeing that more and more frequently. So if you've achieved all of this, my goodness me, and that's without having actually, talking about the stuff that you've done on The Apprentice or anything. So you obviously made the decision, last year to apply for The Apprentice.
Yeah.
What were you hoping to achieve from being mentored by Lord Sugar?
I felt it was a great platform for me to be a voice to a lot of people as well. And that was one of the core reasons that I wanted to apply to The Apprentice. Look, I had a hard time growing up, but that doesn't mean that my problems are not relevant to other people. There's people out there that suffer from depression or stress, whatever it is. I just wanted to be a voice for those people and say, you can do it. Now, I had that experience and I also had a business. I just wanted to find a mentor that sort of had that same sort of experience. And Lord Sugar was the perfect mentor because he's had a tough upbringing himself. He had to work very hard from a young age and he's built a successful empire. So I really felt, and obviously he's a very experienced businessman as well. So I felt combining those two, he was the perfect mentor for me. And I wanted to go into a process that was going to challenge me, really put me to a test, but at the same time, allow me to learn from Lord Sugar, Claude and Karen in that matter, and really sort of help them. But also at the same time during The Apprentice, being a younger sort of candidate or contestant on the show also meant that sometimes I would tell Lord Sugar about different ideas that I've actually sort of think would be better in business in today's day and age. And it was a great opportunity for him to mentor me, but I also felt there's times where I sort of, told him about things that are happening in today's day and age, in today's market, and he actually was impressed by that. So I think mentoring works in two ways, as you said, but The Apprentice and working with Lord Sugar was such an important part of me becoming successful today, is because Lord Sugar's advice, his tips, and the way he does business is exactly how I could see myself doing business as well.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, we can't talk about anything that's happening in the program.
Yeah.
It's airing at the moment. But what next for you? Where are you going next with your business?
So the next big thing for me in my business is I sort of want to be partnering up with universities. I definitely want to start working with universities or students in universities in their final year. So really prepare them before they even go for their first job application. Really prepare them about the soft skills that are needed at work. So talk to them about things like talking on the phone, communication, and those soft skills are predominantly the most important skills in any job in today's day and age, especially in such a competitive environment. So that's one thing I want to do, is definitely partner up with universities, but also at the same time, I definitely want to be a voice, inspire people, and advise people. So I'm looking to speak to a few schools in the next few months, where we're going there, doing workshops with them, and helping younger children really understand the sort of path that's out there for them. Because I feel sometimes when I was a student, I didn't really have, no one told me this is the best way to do things. And now I've had the experience, I really do believe it's so important and valuable to share it with the schools and students in schools. So that for me is the next big step, and hopefully, obviously, enjoy everything that comes with The Apprentice as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if people want to find out more about you, about your work, or get in contact, or maybe even become one of your clients, how do they get hold of you?
So you can find me on my website, which is www.talent and number 4 tomorrow.co.uk. So that's talentfortomorrow.co.uk. On there, you can, if you're a candidate looking for a new job, you can join our talent community pool. And if you're a client, we have lots of advice and tips there on how we can become your people partner and sort of help you in getting the best people in your business, but also managing them throughout the whole cycle. If you want me to do any public speaking or help schools and universities, you can also check out my personal website, which is sajanshah.co.uk. I have blogs there on how to get ahead in the market today. Lots of advice from graduates, millennials, and just simple tips on interviewing, how to do assessment days, and everything to do with jobs, basically.
Excellent. Now, well, obviously, I'm very sorry, but we're running out of time now. So my final question for you is, what do you think the future of mentoring is?
I think the future of mentoring is going to be a two-way cycle. I think mentoring needs to happen with two people at the end of the day. So I can mentor you and you can mentor me. I think people need to have this conception that mentoring is not just a one-way stream anymore. People learn from each other, and it's so important that people, have this open mind and understanding things about you, and you taking time to understand me, because that's what makes the best mentoring. It's transparent, it's honest, and it's very positive in every way possible. So I think that's where mentoring is going. But I really do believe mentoring is changing today, because we're now, mentoring is now more about partnering up with the right communities and the right channels, and really giving everyone access to mentoring, which I felt not everyone has the access to. And I think over the next few months and years, where technology is becoming even more important, and social media and things like that, and I think mentoring will go from just being a sort of face-to-face moment, and more about, looking at someone's success on social media, or looking at someone's story on social media, and sort of channeling that into yourself and saying, oh, actually, I could do that. And that in itself could be a great way of mentoring as well.
Absolutely. Now, out of interest, in your mentoring, do you see any common themes emerging?
In my sort of job, I do find common themes in mentoring. I think the most common theme I find in mentoring now is feedback. I think initially, when I was growing up, I felt I wasn't giving the right feedback because maybe people were scared to say, or you might think actually sometimes feedback can be damaging. But I think in today's day and world, we're now being taught more and more about feedback being the most crucial part of anyone's learning abilities. You know, you need to take on feedback. So I think now we're becoming more transparent in that sort of field of mentoring, but we're becoming more and more experienced, and we're actually in a position now that I feel I'm in a better position to advise anyone on things like going to a job, because I've had the experience of actually applying to a job, being a recruiter, and then being head of HR. So I've actually understood the whole full cycle. So I know the ways to go about it now. And I think that's one of the most important things in mentoring is actually, whatever you're mentoring your people on or individuals on, it's important to actually have good experience in it, understand the troubles that you may have in it, because mentoring is not just about saying the positive things, it's actually about highlighting to people what you may expect and managing those expectations to make sure that someone has a full vision, a full cycle of knowing exactly what they're going into as well.
Thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, I have to say it's been a thoroughly enthralling interview. It's been an absolute delight, and just listening to you has just inspired me about various different things. Honestly, I don't believe that this is going to be the end of the conversation by any length of the means.
No.
Sergeant, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you for making the time for us today out of your busy schedule. It's an absolute delight.
Not a problem at all. I mean, it's so important to also thank you, because what you're doing is such a great cause. And it's people like you that will make a difference to individuals like myself and businesses. And, my biggest sort of props to you is just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job as well.
No, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, guys, stay tuned for more fantastic interviews to really rock your world and to inspire you.